Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to your astrological forecast for the upcoming week. I am recording this on Sunday, so depending when you're watching this is going to be the week commencing from November 18th, I believe. And the dominant theme is going to be, of course, Pluto moving back into the sign of Aquarius for the third and final time on this end of the story anyway. And yeah, we're going to see what happens with all of that. But before I get to that topic, of course, I'm going to name all the other aspects that will be going on next week prior and post Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius, and we'll see what comes out, shall we? Also, I do have some decks ready, so I'm going to pull some cards towards the end. Well, let's see how it goes time-wise. So depending which part of the story you're interested in, tune in. And yeah, just to remind everyone once again that this is an astrological forecast, so there is going to be a lot of astrological terminology, just so you're aware. And yeah, let's just dive in. So first and foremost, I would like to open this space and call in on my higher self, my spirit guides, angelic team, ancestors. I feel ancestors wants to be present. Starseed family, also ascended masters, and I do call in on Akashic record keepers for any messages that we are allowed to know at this time with regards to the topics we are experiencing to support our evolutionary trajectory for highest good of everyone involved. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you watching for being here, and let's just see what happens. That's my throat chakra going, and exactly 11:11. So today, Sunday, as I'm recording this, we just experienced the Sun opposition to Uranus last night, and Moon is still in the sign of Gemini, which is how we're going to end this week and enter into a new one, even though Moon is going to move excuse me, Moon is going to move into the sign of Cancer, which is the sign of her rulership tonight. So depending where you are in the world, it's going to be in early hours of the mornings or later hours in the mornings. And then we're going to start a week with Mercury opposition to Jupiter. Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini. This is the mutual reception thing going on over there because Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius. Currently, this is happening on 18 degrees, 48 minutes, which is an Aries decan. And this is the first of the 3 oppositions because Mercury is preparing for his retrograde, which is also going to be in the sign of Sagittarius. And that's going to commence on the 26th. And the second opposition then will take place on December 4th, and the third and the final one on December 26th. Also, depending where you are in the world, either tonight or tomorrow, we have the Sun in Scorpio making a trine to Neptune retrograde in Pisces. This, I believe, is the final aspect. Yes, is the final aspect Sun is making from the sign of Scorpio. And this is all about releasing all these aspects of ourselves, which we had the opportunity to discover throughout Scorpio season, the illumination of the shadow aspects, the aspects of ourselves that are making us feel disempowered and stuck in the past. And now Sun making a trine to Neptune retrograde in Pisces, it says we need to deal with this. We need to heal it. We need to release it. We need to let it go because it's no longer in alignment with where we're going. Because we know that North Node is going to move into the sign of Pisces and is going to have a conjunction with Neptune on 28 degrees in February, early February, right after Jupiter stations direct. And this is all about what needs to be left behind with regards to Piscean age, because it is not a frequency resonance with the Aquarian age. And we know that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is just about to move into the sign of Aquarius, as I mentioned, which is actually happening on Tuesday. So before that takes place, we are also going to be having the first of the 3 trines between Mercury and Chiron retrograde in Aries. Mercury still being on 19 degrees of Sagittarius, so this is still Arian decan, new direction. And as I mentioned, this is first of the 3 trines. We know, I already spoke about this, Mercury and Chiron have a little bit of a love affair going on this year because throughout Mercury's retrograde in Aries in April, they had 3 conjunction. Then they had 3 trines in summer when Mercury was retrograding in Leo, and now they're having 3 trines while Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius. And this is all about these fire aspects of our reality, which is all about creativity, creation, creation, Mercury being a sign, Chiron being a sign of Aries ruled by Mars, which is the rule of the North Node. We're going into this new direction, which is very different from the direction we have ever experienced ever. And we need to get over our wounding in order to feel open to become whatever we came here to become, to co-create whatever we came here to co-create. So Mercury trining Chiron 3 times from the sign of Leo, which is all about creation, all about reconnection with the inner child, with your soul's purpose, with your heart. And now Sagittarius, we're taking it to the next level. We are going to explore new horizons and co-create a new story with regards to human evolution. So this is what we're going to be working with the Mercury trine to Chiron. And the second one will take place on the 2nd of December, which is right after the new moon in Sagittarius. And the third and the final one will take place on December 31st, which is right after the new moon in Capricorn, interestingly enough. And yes, here we go, Tuesday the 19th. After this aspect, we will have Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius. Depending where you are in the world, for you guys over in India, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, this is actually already going to be happening on the 20th. So depending where you are in the world, but you know, everybody that is in Europe and in the US and, you know, this side of the ocean where I am, Mexico currently, it's going to be on Tuesday the 19th. Pluto moves into sign of Aquarius for the 3rd time, and it's there to stay until 2043. Then subsequently on Wednesday, moon will move into sign of Leo. Then on Thursday, yes, we're going to have the beginning of Sagittarius season. I already talked about this. Anybody else feeling like this Scorpio season has been taking on forever? Probably just because of all the stuff that's been coming up for me personally. But yes, Thursday the 21st, Sun will enter into the sign of Sagittarius. So we are entering into the Sagittarius season, and the first aspect Sun is going to make will be a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius on 0 degrees and 2 minutes. 2 is the number of partnership, number of co-creation with your higher self. So we're going beyond, right? We're going beyond that old story that made us feel disconnected, disempowered, divided, and all the rest of it. So anyway, so that's Thursday. Friday the 22nd, Venus in Capricorn is making a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. Venus is currently ruled by Saturn, of course, because she's in the sign of Capricorn. This is the second decan for both of them. So Venus is on a Taurian decan, Saturn is on a Cancerian decan. So this is all about creating the new foundation of who we are becoming, which is very different from the old foundation, which is all about this externalization of our power. Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. We know that all is ending, that all structure of reality, the old paradigm where we're looking up to someone else to take care of us, to nurture us, to take care of our emotions. This is no longer going to be available. This is why Venus, as the rule of the South Node, and Venus is still squaring the nodes. I mean, at this stage, let's see, what degree is it? 12 degrees, still squaring the nodes. Resolution being the South Node in Libra. This is not where we're going anymore. This looking up to someone else to validate us, to make us feel worthy, to make us feel special, and all the rest of it. No, like with the Venus being a sign of Capricorn, this is all about you becoming your own creator, you creating the strong foundation within yourself, the strong roots based on complete and unconditional self-acceptance and self-love, self-compassion, self-forgiveness. So then this can be extended to the world outside of you and create this completely different relational dynamics that this new earth is going to build upon. So this is Venus to Saturn. This is a closing sextile, which is all about Aquarian flavors. So what are we breaking free from? And again, it's this the external world, the external structure of reality, the other determining what your reality is or how you experience in your reality. So this is what this aspect is supporting. And then on Friday night, Saturday morning, again, depending where you are in the world, moon is going to move into sign of Virgo. And then on Saturday the 23rd, for majority of people, but for some it will be still Friday the 22nd, Mars will make an exact trine to North Node in Aries, currently ruled by Mars. Mars is in the sign of Leo. Mars is actually going to trine the node 3 times, the North Node, but the third time the node will be already in the sign of Pisces, and Mars will trine it from the sign of Cancer, I believe. So this is the first of the 3 trines. This is happening on 4 degrees 59 minutes. So Leo decan, Aries decan, Mars being a sign of Leo, and already in the shadow preparing for his retrograde, which will take him back into sign of Cancer. We're going to reevaluate everything: who we are, what is our purpose, what did we come here to do, what is our authentic expression, all of that, because this trine to North Node is saying, well, we don't really know. We don't really know where we're going. What we know is what was, what we know is what was. But actually now, with the sun being in a sign of Sagittarius, ruling Leo, ruling Mars currently, is saying, think bigger, go bigger, think beyond, because with this Jupiter retrograde, all these outdated belief systems, these stories that are preventing us from going bigger, further, and all the rest of it, because now of the connection, Sagittarius, Sun is in Sagittarius, Sun is ruling Mars in the sign of Leo, and Mars is trining the North Node, is saying, no, we're going beyond everything. We're going beyond everything, yes, there are similarities with regards to what's happening, things are getting triggered in our subconscious with regards to the memories from past lives, from previous incarnations, ancient civilization, where we go, oh, I've been here before, but it never was exactly the same as it is now. It was similar, but now we have the opportunity to go beyond that, go beyond where we didn't succeed the last time, because we had to learn more, because we had to go through all that happened between then and now, and we learned, and humanity evolved, and we are ready to go to the next level. So yes, Sun is trining the North Node, and then on Saturday the 23rd, we also have, Pallas squaring Neptune, and that's it. That's it for the rest of the week. We're going to end the week with Moon still in the sign of Virgo, which is all about learning and adjusting and preparing for the next chapter of our hero's journey. And then Moon will move into sign of Libra on Monday. And then on Tuesday the 26th, actually for some it will be still Monday the 25th, Mercury will station retrograde, and Sun will make a trine to North Node. But that's for another conversation. Of course, we leave that for the next week. So anyway, so here we go, guys. So you can see there's tons of things happening, all very supportive to this new direction, especially, like I said, with this Mercury-Jupiter triple opposition and Mercury trying to Chiron, triple trine. This is all about us being pushed into thinking bigger, into thinking in a more expansive fashion, because this Jupiter retrograde in Gemini is really helping us to expand our mind, our vision, and is doing it through showing us where we are limiting ourselves. That's why so many limiting belief systems, so many old stories, so many things that are stuck in our subconscious are coming up to our conscious mind, especially with this Mercury opposition, because Mercury is our logical mind, how we think. And it's like opposition, this Jupiter in Gemini, it's saying like, oh, we have so many choices, multidimensional existence, timelines, all the rest of it. And this Mercury in Sagittarius, is now saying like, but what do you believe? Do you believe that, and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is like the topic that we're going to be exploring. And like I said, the triple trine to Chiron is about, you are not your wounding, like we are all divine beings having a human experience, playing this role, in this avatar, and, following the script and embodying all that is healing with regards to human collective evolution, right? But this is not who you are. You are not any of your labels. You are not any of your emotions. You are not any of your thoughts. You are much more than that. This is part of your experience right here, right now, but it's not who you are. So this Chiron is saying like, let's just move beyond the wounding, because the wounding has been keeping us trapped, for all this time, saying that, well, this is like with the Mars in Leo, this is my purpose, this is all I can do because this is who I am. But is it, is it really the authentic expression? So anyway, and like I said, the main topic of the week, well, Sun sextile to Pluto, like I said, this is all about going beyond, Venus sextile to Saturn, freeing ourselves from that old concept, from the old relational paradigm, from the old everything. It is so hard to comprehend and understand for our brain, and this is obviously taking us to this Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius. It is so hard for our brain to comprehend that. What do you mean? What do you mean that everything is changing? What do you mean that the world is going to be a very different place in 20, 50, 100 years time, and humans will not even look the way they do, like this whole reality, everything, everything that you've experienced, everything that we are used to, everything that makes us feel comfortable will be gone. And I mean, it's not funny at all, and let's just give some facts with regards to Pluto in Aquarius, and then we can do some channeling over here. So Pluto Capricorn, this is what we end in now, literally in 2 days time from the time when I'm recording here this. So Pluto first moved into the sign of Capricorn on 26th of January 2008, and Pluto was there until 14th of June 2008, and then moved into the sign of Sagittarius. Then for the second time, Pluto moved into the sign of Capricorn and stayed there on the 27th of November 2008, and stayed in there until 23rd of March 2023, which is last year when we had Pluto ingress into the sign of Aquarius for the first time for 5 minutes. It only stayed on 0 degrees and change. So we didn't get very far. And actually at the time when Pluto ingressed into the sign of Aquarius for the first time, Moon was in a sign of Aries, because it was right after that first moon in Aries, new moon in Aries, which was one of the two, because the second one that year, 2023, was the eclipse on 29 degrees. So this is interesting. So Pluto moves for the first time in our lifetime into the sign of Aquarius under the influence of Moon in Aries. So this is all about this rebirth of the ego, rebirth of who we are, Cancer. It's connected to Cancer for me because I know what happens after. But, just trust me, we're going into new direction. Moon is our ego identity. We be becoming someone different. So Pluto stayed in the sign of Aquarius after it moved there for the first time in March 2023 until June 11th, 2023. And that's when it retrograded back into the sign of Capricorn. And this is when Moon was in the sign of Pisces. So once again, isn't that interesting? We have Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius for the first time. Moon is in Aries, and then he moves into the sign of Capricorn for his first retrograde from Aquarius, and Moon is in the sign of Pisces. Beginnings and endings. Something is ending. And we already knew that because the eclipse that year, 2023, as I mentioned, the second one of the two new moons happened on 29 degrees of Aries. Beginnings and endings, right? Okay, so then Pluto remained in the sign of Capricorn until January 20th this year, 2024. Moon just moved into the sign of Gemini when Pluto moved into the sign of Aquarius, because Pluto had a conjunction with Sun for the final time in Capricorn. Right before that, on 29 degrees 59 minutes of Capricorn, and Moon moved into the sign of Gemini. I believe right after that, I believe Moon was in the sign of Taurus and then moved into the sign of Gemini, and this is when Pluto ingressed into the sign of Aquarius for the second time, January 20th, 2024, right after the Sun-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn on 29 degrees 59 minutes. Now, Moon in Gemini, what does this mean? Same thing as Jupiter in Gemini. Well, I mean, not exactly the same thing, but it's saying we are going to expand the perception of who we are in order to tap into these timelines that we came here to explore. Gemini is all about choice, about curiosity. It's all about this gathering data. But in a sense, we know Gemini is impartial. It's not like polarized, like I think they say that it's like hermaphrodite, right? It's not feminine, it's not masculine. It's just Gemini is Gemini. Gemini just moves in between the worlds and does what Gemini wants, right? Mercury, Gemini, right? The twins, it's anything you want. So Moon being in a sign of Gemini, it's saying like, this is all about the choice. Humanity had made a choice to make a quantum leap into this completely different reality that we are going to be co-creating together over here on planet Earth. And it's going to look different things to different people depending what timeline you're tuning into, because Aquarius is all about quantum and technology, and like just go beyond any limitation. That's it. That's Uranus for you, the first invisible planet. We go beyond all the scene, right? So okay, moving on. Pluto stayed in the sign of Aquarius until September 2nd. And we might remember that because September 3rd was the new moon in Virgo. So when Pluto moved into the sign of Aquarius on 20th of January, it was right before the full moon in Leo. And then Pluto moved into the sign of, retrograded into the sign of Capricorn for the final time on September 2nd. For some people, actually, it was September 1st. So September 1st and 2nd, depending where you were in the world. And moon was still in the sign of Leo at the time. So that's interesting again. Pluto moves into the sign of Aquarius, right before full moon in Leo, and now we have Pluto moving back into sign of Capricorn, and there is a moon in Leo right before the new moon in Virgo, which took place the following day. And now this is it. Pluto is moving back into sign of Aquarius for the third and the final time on this side of the Aquarius, right after actually full moon in Taurus, which we experience now on the 15th on Friday. And moon will be in the sign of Cancer, which is again, moon was in the sign of Aries. Like I said, first time Pluto moved into the sign of Aquarius, and now what do we have? Moon in the sign of Cancer, which is about this creation of the new sense of self, embodying the true essence of who you really are, which is none of your labels. And Pluto now will remain in the sign of Aquarius until March 9th of March 2043, and moon will be in the sign of Aquarius. So this is, you can see the progression. Moon in Aries, moon in Gemini, moon in Cancer, and now we go to moon in Aquarius. And that will be actually, I believe, right before new moon in Pisces at the time. So that makes sense because Pluto will be moving into the sign of Pisces. And then Pluto will retrograde back into the sign of Aquarius for the final time on that other end of Aquarius on 1st of September 2043. And that is once again right before the new moon in Virgo, exactly like it was now. There will be new moon in Virgo on 3rd of September 2044. So 1st of September 2043, moon will be actually still in a sign of Leo, exactly copy-paste like it was now. And Pluto will then remain in the sign of Aquarius for his last stint until January 19th, 2044. And at that time, moon will be still in the sign of Virgo. Again, Virgo. What is Virgo? Human. This is the hero's journey, This is the human's experience that we have in here on this planet, So yeah, and it will be actually, I wrote here, I need to remind myself, moon will be literally on the final minutes of Virgo. Shortly after that, moon will move into sign of Libra, which is all about this neutrality, about the balancing, about this fairness, justice, everybody has a voice, everybody has a right to be who they are, everybody has what they need. There is not haves and haves nots, better or worse, this polarization. So that made perfect sense to me. And this is when Pluto will move into the sign of Pisces for the second and final time on that end again. And this is January 19th, 2044, and Pluto will remain in the sign of Pisces until June 17th, 2066. So Pluto will be in the sign of Pisces on and off, actually, until 2068. So for 24 years, that is a long time. So yeah, and then Pluto will go back and forth between Pisces and Aries, but that's not relevant to us at the moment. Who knows who out of us will be still around to observe that? But anyway, we're going to focus on Pluto in Aquarius. But this is, to me, it's just with my geeky brain, this is just fascinating. All these, all these synchronicities with regards to lunation and the moon, creating foundation, we working on restructuring the sense of who we are and adjusting, learning and adjusting, Virgo is all about, okay, you know, nothing's gonna happen like tomorrow. Virgo is a earth sign, which is all about this, yeah, it takes time, you know, it takes human life, you know, just like I can say from my experience, you know, like based on what I'm experiencing in my reality, I'm going through a lot of stuff, and there are materials which I either had access to prior and I didn't dive into, or I did dive into, and now going over it again, I don't remember any of what I, you know, learned in that material before. But right now, when I'm diving into these materials, whether rewatching it, re-listening it, or going into it for the first time, it's exactly what I need right now. So this is what I mean. So we might like chastised ourselves, like, oh, I should have known better, I should have done better and stuff. And there is a lot of that, you know, that again, this is all connected to Virgo and Taurus, you know, when we don't have the steady foundation, when we didn't heal all this, you know, stuff that created the foundation of our reality in childhood, you know, most of which was, you know, based on challenging situations for many people. And if that hasn't been healed and cleared, then, you know, all this program is running in our subconscious saying, you know, about being good enough, not being good enough, criticizing, you know, judgment, self-judgment, judgment towards others, and all the rest of it. So again, you know, this Virgo thing, this is not about us criticizing ourselves or comparing ourselves like, oh, I should have remembered that, or I should have known better, or you know, why am I where I am right now, you know, I should be somewhere else, I should be ahead 10 years ahead, you know, doing something different, being all like zen and abundant and having all my, you know, ducks in a row and stuff. And again, where did this come from? You know, where did this come from? It came from the external environment. Libra, South Node in Libra, Venus square in the nodes, you know, this all came from the external environment that said, oh yeah, this is what you need to be an accomplished human, right? But, and again, it's interesting with all these Virgo correlations, the new moons and stuff, because now this is what we're changing. This is what Pluto is going to help us to break free from, because it's not a frequency match. It is not a frequency match. I mean, there is an inconjunction, you know, like we need to look at it in a different way, in this more intuitive way, from the spiritual lens. Like, no, you know, just like I mentioned multiple times in my videos prior, you know, like your higher self and your spirit guides, they don't go like, you loser, you know, why did you make that mistake again? Like, you should have known better by now, come on. You know, that's not how it is. You know, it's this unconditional love. And also the concept of the unconditional love is not the love that we are understanding right now with all these unhealed emotions that so many us are processing, you know, all this projection, you know, triggers and stuff like that, you know, like with this Aquarian age, which is, again, this is such a, there are so many topics you can dive into with regards to Aquarian age, but even like the way relationships will change, you know, the South Node is in Libra at the time when Pluto is moving into the sign of Aquarius for the third final time, right? So this means something. It's saying the way we did relationships before, it is not going to be the same way anymore. You know, it's going to be different, like, because all this, you know, this heart-centered consciousness, Christ consciousness, however you want to call it, you know, which is like the opposition between Aquarius and Leo. This is all about oneness, and like oneness, you know, that's more the Piscean age. I think that, you know, not Piscean age, it is a Piscean age, but Piscean age was, you know, completely different human experience to the one that we're going to be having. Pluto in Pisces, I mean. So, you know, what I feel like, you know, Pluto in Pisces, this, you know, 2044, 43 until 2066, 68, this is where very likely we'll be experiencing that, like, you know, like, or maybe hopefully all over the world, you know, this sense of wholeness and unconditional compassionate love, and, you know, all these, like, it's not about you know, even though it is about, you know, you, because you are the creator of your reality and you are the center stage of your life, but this, you know, like when people channel these higher dimensional entities, and is we, it's like the collective consciousness, you know, I still have my unique expression, but I know I'm part of the bigger thing, right? So this is what I really feel, you know, this Aquarian age is like breaking us free from everything that is preventing this, you know, this sense of wholeness, you know, coming into completion with regards to everything that is unresolved from everything that happened before. Again, like, yes, our childhood, this is what we work on with this lifetime, past lifetimes, ancestral lineage, collective wounding, all that is in the one soup, in one pot. And obviously nobody came here to save the world. Nobody came here to do it on their own, but we all came here to contribute, through our own hero's journey, through our own experience. So with Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius, and especially this first year and a half, while the nodes will be in Pisces and Virgo from January onwards until summer 2026, while Saturn, Uranus, Neptune will have the dance, the back and forth between these feminine signs and the masculine polarized signs, the yin and yang energy, we'll be going back and forth, and there will be so much stuff, and I'll be diving deeper into this with regards to the nodes in Pisces and Virgo. There is so much stuff that's going to be coming to the surface, and we're already tapping into it because we already energetically diving into the energy of 2025. And that's the year of 9, the year of culmination, the year of Hermit, going within, so we can find the star, the North Star, the star that this Hermit has in his lamp, the star, the future, the Aquarius. The only way you're gonna find it is from inside out. And this is what I need to walk my talk right now, because of all the transits I have in my personal chart. Is like the spirit is like, sorry, you cannot run away anymore. Sorry, you need to take responsibility and do the work, do the 8 of Pentacles. Work has to be done, and now is the time. No more escaping, no more running away. So this is not about why me, or poor me, and why is this happening, and this is like, again, individual, collective experience, whichever way you want to look at it. Like, how much of this we are experiencing in the world, this like flooding of this division, separation, victimhood mentality, martyrdom, pointy fingers, judgment, all the rest of it. So all these lower vibrational frequencies, they are all getting triggered and brought to the surface, in our personal experience and collective experience, because they need to be healed. And that's that's what we will be predominantly working on between January 2025 and July 2026, by which point all these new planets will be in their new stations, including Chiron in Taurus, by summer 2026. So there is a lot of work ahead, but because Pluto is in Aquarius and Uranus is going to move into Gemini, we can move through it much faster than ever before, because now we are tapping into quantum field, we are tapping into different timelines. So all this work can be done much faster. We don't have to, reincarnate 100 times to try to work on the same thing. So all these things are coming up to the surface for us to release it, for us to change all these patterns, to let go of these patterns of the Piscean age and all the ages that came before, because Pisces is the totality, is the culmination. So all of this is coming up, and this includes everything. Pisces is the totality, it includes everything. It includes, we have to start from ourselves. Taurus is the foundation, right? So our relationship with ourselves, that's what needs to be healed first and foremost, to reconnect, to allow the soul to embody, to embody this physical vessel. I mean, that's stupidly said, because of course soul is always present, but you know what I mean, the higher self and the higher mind to be present in our everyday reality, so we no longer feel disconnected and feel the desire to externalize our power, because what we're looking for is this sense of wholeness, sense of sense of peace and harmony, and a sense of connectedness to something that we know that we were connected to before, and currently we cannot find it. So it's like, where is it? Is it with this person, those people, this community? Where is it? So first the work has to be done from inside. We need to do the healing, clearing, and the reconnecting on the internal level, and then we can connect with this external, the external in a new way, and because certain level of work and healing has been done, even though this is an ongoing process, it's not like we ever fully done, there's always more to clear. There is more. It's like, just look at life, there is always more laundry to do. There is always more dusting to be done. There will always be more garbage you need to take to the trash, so that's what I mean. There is always more, even like the physical body continuously filtering and clearing and stuff. In a human body, in a human experience, at least the way things are set up at the moment, this might change, of course, what do I know, there are always things that will have to be done. But once we did get to the certain level of healing and clearing, then we can connect with all these people who needs to be frequency match, so they had to have done the same thing. So then we can co-create this different reality that is not based on the same stuff, this projection and attracting one another because we have the same wounding, or we have these karmic contracts, these bonds between ourselves and cores and unresolved stuff, unresolved energies. So we will start connecting with one another, whether this is, individuals or groups of people, in a very different way. And then we will together, because we'll be frequency match and we'll not try to be someone else or please someone else or sacrifice to be with someone else or to belong somewhere, which is this old paradigm. Then when we connect in this different way, then we will co-create a different reality for everyone. So, this is aspect of an Aquarian age. Of course, it's not all of it, because like I said, Aquarius, we're going beyond, right? So there are so many layers we can focus on, of course, like with regards to educational system, health, like how this world will be run, like the, current, the current political scene doesn't make us feel like, oh, how this can ever be something different, or how we gonna get from this to that, it's like a huge gap in between. And this is all the Virgo. This is all the Virgo. This is the human's journey. This is the learning and adjusting, and we learn as we go. And this is why we all came here. We all came here to learn as we go, to contribute, to have an experience. And yeah, it's gonna take time. I mean, Pluto in Aquarius, 19-20 years, right? Then Pluto in Pisces, 24 years. I mean, hello. I didn't look how long it will be in Aries. I don't think it will be relevant to me personally, but like I checked the Pisces thing. So it, in one sense, and this is something that I already mentioned, it is exciting because for many people things are not working anymore. There are still some people that are happy. Then there are people who are, apathetic enough to not care. But for a lot of people, and especially there are more and more people awakening, we are all at different stages on our journey. And this is where we have to, own where we are, self-accept, and have a self-compassion, because it's not about somebody being far ahead, being behind. It's not about this comparison and division, right? This is not what it is about, because there has to be someone at each stage of the journey to motivate those that are, so to speak, linearly saying, behind, and then to aspire to something that is ahead. This is like, there's always this spiral going on there, right? But again, this is where we have to have a compassion for ourselves and, just accept where we at, and this is again, just like from my personal life, I could be feeling whichever way about what I'm experiencing, and sometimes I am. But it's the opportunity to have the higher understanding at the same time as having the lower understanding that, okay, but I feel all this, so what am I supposed to do? I feel it is real, but at the same time having the higher understanding that none of these emotions are yours. These emotions are not who you are, these thoughts are not who you are. So, this is just something that is running through your system that you're processing and changing, transforming into something completely different. And the different is unknown because the North Node is in Aries, Mars is in Leo, but it's going to go back into Cancer, and it's going to have 2 more oppositions with Pluto. Now Pluto in the sign of Aquarius is going to be, of course, from Leo. But there are so many things, like this Neptune is going to connect with the North Node, then we're going to have Jupiter square in the nodes at some point. There are all these things that are going to be happening, so that's what I mean, things are continuously going ahead. They're continuously growing and evolving, and we don't know where they're going. We don't know where they're going because what we see, again, is the totality of the manifestation of everything that came before. So we have the full understanding of this Piscean age, and the Piscean age had the full understanding of Aryan age and, everything that came before, but because we are at such early stages of this Aquarian age, we have no clue. So at the moment we are literally in the transitionary period, and especially my generation, Pluto Scorpio, Pluto Libra, the older generations too, the younger ones I don't believe so much, but we are the transitionary generations that needs to, that needs to just make it through, that needs to transmute as much as each person can, but collectively be working on it together. So don't worry, everybody is contributing. Because we're going into some completely different era, but we weren't born in that era, just like Pluto Virgos, they were the flexible, the mutable generation born into the world that they felt that they didn't belong in anymore, but they had to create, the material foundation for what we're experiencing at the moment, with all these things that changed since 60s until now and stuff. And now Pluto Sagittarius is, and now this Pluto Capricorns, and now the new babies, Pluto Aquarius is, they are designed completely differently, they don't carry the same stuff we carry, that's why, like Pluto Capricorns especially, they're so much better with boundaries, and they know themselves so much better than we did, especially at their age and stuff. So that's what I mean, these older generations, Scorpio and the ones before, we just have to do the work. There is no other way. I have to do the work. You have to do the work. We all have to do the work, because we need to release all this stuff that we were born into that is not in resonance, that is all passed on from previous generation that did the best they could, and they passed on the gifts too, not just the grind, right? They passed on the gifts too. But now us as a soul decided that, okay, I do have the tools, I'm going to be born at a time and age where, this is going to move on very quickly, and we can do it. And this is what we're going to be doing through the Aquarian age. We're going to be destructuring and restructuring everything. Literally everything, right? But it starts from the right here, right now, which is after effects of Taurus full moon. The illumination of what, especially what we were becoming more and more aware since May this year, with regards to what matters to you, who are you, and we might not even have an answer for that, because, anyway, who are you now is not who you're gonna be by the time, Mars is done his retrograde and goes back into Leo, in April 19th, I think it is, either way, April, second half of April. So it doesn't even matter so much. What matters is that we are learning to reconnect with ourselves, with this Taurus, this new foundation, and learn about, what do I need? What do I like? What matters to me? What is my relationship with myself? How do people treat me? Because these people out there, this Libra, everybody else other than yourself, they just treat us the way we allow them to treat us, or that they helping us to see what we don't see about ourselves. So they give us something to work with, right? We need that mirroring, so we can see. So anyway, so this Taurus thing that just happened, this full moon, gave us an illumination. And depending when it fell in your chart, obviously, it affected you in certain places more than others. For me, Taurus, I'm a Taurus sun, but my Taurus is intercepted. So technically my Taurus is ruled by Aries, it's ruled by Mars, and my Mars is on 29 degrees of Taurus, and that was conjunct. Also, my North Node in Taurus on 18 degrees was conjunct, and my Saturn on 26 degrees of Scorpio was opposed. So it's time to take the responsibility, at least for me, at least for me, with everything that I'm going through, getting ready for my Pluto square and all the rest of it. And, for everybody who is early Aquarius rising, Pluto is going to conjunct your ascendant very soon. Everybody Aquarius rising, Pluto is going to conjunct your ascendant. But if you are early Aquarius rising, like myself, 4 degrees, that's going to be happening within 2 years. So it's like, are you ready? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go beyond? So that's what I mean. We are all at the different stages, and some people, and I don't even know where I am on the game, but I am very fortunate to come into contact with some of my clients, people that are much further ahead than I am, and the teachers that I'm, learning from and stuff, spiritual teachers who I keep mentioning all the time. So that's what I mean, we are where we are at, and we get activated when is the right time, our initiation time, and then we just go from there. And there will be always people to support you. There will be always people that will show you what you're no longer in resonance with. And this is also the painful thing, because this is again something that I'm repeating myself saying. that just because, you know, it makes sense to the logical mind or our higher mind or our soul and stuff, it doesn't make it easy, you know, because we have all these emotional attachments, all these memories, you know, all these like sense of comfort, you know, and stuff. And then somebody telling you that, well, sorry, you know, like for example, you love this person, but you cannot go further any longer because you're not growing, you know, you're not evolving, you know. And for how many people, especially now with the South Node in Libra culminating, this is the case, you know, and they come into the point on their life and they say, I love this person, and I'm so happy that we were together and how much we, you know, did together, whatever, but it's not in resonance anymore. So, and you know, for me, like, you know, there is no romantic partner, but for me it's showing up through my you know, relationship with my family, which, you know, I talked to death through my practical applications of astrology and stuff. And this is where, you know, there is a lot of processing of a grief going on in the collective, and will continue to be going on, because there are aspects of our reality which we are strongly attached to and are part of who we perceive ourselves to be, you know, part of these labels and identity, that are just not frequency matched. They took us as far as they could, and now, you know, there will be a redefinition of these relationships, or, you know, in certain cases they will just, the contract is done, hasta la vista, you know, which again sounds much easier than it's done, you know, but this is Aquarius, you know, this is the age of unconditional love, which is not the love we understand at the moment. It is not polarized. It is all about harmony and balance and justice for all, and the opportunity to be authentic and live in your authentic essence, and everybody having the same rights and opportunities. And it's very alien to what we are experiencing on the planet at the moment. It's like currently looking at the state of the world, maybe even state of your life, you think like, that's never gonna happen. That's impossible. You know, this is what I hear my parents saying all the time. That's never gonna happen. And I'm like, just watch. If not from the human body, you will see it from up there, wherever you're gonna be next. But it is going to happen. It is destined. It is going to happen. How are we gonna get there? Kicking or screaming, or, you know, just flowing with it? That is everybody's choice, right? That is the Gemini aspect. So anyway, guys, this is just a brief introduction, you know, to Pluto entering into the sign of Aquarius with Moon in the sign of Cancer, which is all about creating this inner sense of safety and security through reconnection with your essence and with your intuition, which is the only guidance system that is right for you because it's yours, right? So anyway, so there is so much to talk about, so much to dive into, so much to explore. I am going to again be addressing this in my practical application of astrology, which I'm intending to record on the day when Pluto goes into Aquarius on the Tuesday 19th. So anyway, but I leave it here for right here, right now, because I do want to use these decks, and it's already 46 minutes of talking. So yeah. Let's just turn to cards. So anybody that is here just for the astrology, this is where I culminate this speech, and I'm going to now pull some cards. So if you're curious to see, then stay. If not, then thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time. So okay, for whatever reason, I'm reaching for angels and ancestors. I wanted to start from a different deck, but this is the deck that I'm reaching for, and this is the one that I have on my screen. So I'm going to start from angels and ancestors and see what wisdom they have to share with us at this time of being 5 to 12 with regards to Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius for the next 20 years. So let's see. What is the guidance? Okay, straight away we have a card. High Priestess. Here you got it. Here is the moon. Harnessed mystic power. Look at that. You know, and the being and the purity, the white, becoming someone completely different. And there is the Merkaba, right? And the black cat. You know, this is the underworld, right? So yeah, so this is it. We are going to fully embody. Look at that power. You just look at that person and you see the power, you know, how they hold themselves and you know that this person respects and values themselves, and they know who they are, they know their sense of power. So here we go, the High Priestess. All the answers are within you. You were born with the seed of who you are here to become. And at the bottom we have the Shaman. So here you have the as above, so below. The Shaman, trust in higher forces. And look at the owl, the wisdom of the ancestors, the wisdom of the elders, everything that happened. And look at the circle, right? We're just going in a spiral, we're just going in circles, but you know, there is so much wisdom that we can tap into, which was being accumulated by all the past versions of ourselves, including our ancestors. And now we can look at it from the bird's view eye and not have to go down the same route anymore, which anyway, we don't have that option anyway, so either way. Okay, let's see what these two cards want to tell us. We go to the High Priestess first. Okay, so that's this one, the Egyptian, harness the mystical powers, align with the light and focus on all things positive. About the High Priestess is a physical embodiment of the divine feminine, the goddess in human form. She has had many names through time and space, but her essence has remained similar: fierce, powerful, and disciplined. There is the Capricorn, this sounds like Venus in Capricorn. In many traditions, particularly pre-Christian, the High Priestess was in charge of spiritual and religious orders and was the voice of authority and guidance from the gods. The High Priestess in this deck is the consort and partner to the High Priest. She is joined by a black cat representing the Egyptian goddess Bast, who protects her from lower energies, and she stands strong in her glory and power. Extended message: you are a mystic with the capacity to connect with energies that go beyond the human senses. Within you is a force of magic that is directed by your will. There is an opportunity for you to rise up at this time, but it requires dedication and discipline. You are being guided to look at what you are working on or at the situation before you and determine where your priorities lie. That's the full moon in Taurus. If you are unable to figure that out, you must use your intuition and discernment to focus on what will bring you closer to your goal and the happiness of everyone involved. When this card arrives, it's also important for you to check in with your intuition, as it will give you the guidance that will be important for your growth. So even though she represents the divine feminine, I think she has a good balance between the divine feminine and masculine, because she definitely also embodies a lot of attributes of the divine masculine, you know, the discipline and the being able to make decisions and stuff, the balance between the yin and yang, which is the Aquarian age, the balance between the divine feminine and masculine, which is not about female and male or female as a woman with the male and stuff. It's about balancing these energies in each and every single one of us. So we go to Shaman. Shaman. Okay, here we go. Trust in higher forces. Trust in your angels, guides, and ancestors. If you have given your power away, claim it back. About, on the inner planes, all of the shamans of times gone by are helping the human race to understand the complexities of life and the needs of Mother Earth. Many are working as spiritual guides to light workers and light warriors. The shaman card brings the energy of your shaman guides to you. Shamans believe that when there was illness or disease, it was because a person's power had been left behind somewhere or a negative pattern had installed itself in them. In trance, they would travel to the underworld to recall this power and remove the demon. If this card comes to you, it's because you need to do some release work with lower energies or with your lack of trust in the spiritual energies that are guiding you. The shaman will aid you in your quest. Extended message: there are spiritual allies working in your favor, and their miracles will unfold much more easily when you move into the state of trust. So call back your power and stop allowing external forces to divert you from the miracles you deserve. Hand over all of your concerns to your spiritual allies. When you do so, you allow them to send you intuitive guidance and messages that will allow you to correct this situation and come out on top. The shaman card also shows that you have shamanistic potential to move between the realms and connect with your guides in an external, personal way. And everybody has this potentials, you know, whether they developed or not. But yeah, what I'm tapping into is like something that I heard recently in one of the videos that I watched with regards to, you know, like you can only feel completely whole and fully empowered when we call back all the energy that is trapped and stuck in time and place, you know, in all these different timelines and stuff. So this is what I feel, this shaman, you know, like our ancestors and, you know, like the wisdom of the past is helping us to do, you know, like traveling between the realms, between the timelines, doing all this healing, clearing work in us to reclaim these aspects of ourselves that we lost. And of course, we start from this lifetime, from childhood, because this is where we suppressed a lot of aspects of ourselves, but it goes all the way back, you know, all the way back. And we are impacted by our ancestors and the collective and everything that had to be suppressed. So we call our energy back, and, you know, the high priestess is helping us through our intuition, and the cat is protecting you. But at the same time, we do have to dive into these shadows, you know, and these lower energies. So the cat is like, don't worry, you know, I'm here to help. But, you know, we cannot be fully shielded from these things, because we need to face them. Because if we don't face them, that there is still something outside of us that is taking our power away, that we are afraid of. So this is what I feel, that also in this Scorpio season, this is what we were discovering. That yes, you know, there are things that we don't want to look at, we don't want to deal with, because they are all dark, or I don't want to deal with this, you know, this is not something that I have time for. And that's why we have to really beware of this toxic positivity. You know, it's not all just rainbows and butterflies, you know, we're living in a reality that currently operates on polarity. So it's about the neutrality. It's about coming back to the middle. It's not about either or the other extreme. It's about how do we neutralize these energies that are out of whack. And we start from ourselves. So yeah, so this is very powerful messages. Okay, I already, you know, got a hint and confirmation with regards to the 2 decks I want to use for my practical application. I couldn't decide between decks. So I'm like, okay, I use these ones today and those next ones on Tuesday. So anyway, now we're going to use the Akashic record, which is the one that I wanted to start with. The Akashic Tarot from Sandra and Taylor. Okay, so let's see where we at, humanity, you know, nothing new under the sun, where we are at. This is for our Akashic guides. What is the guidance from our Akashic guides with regards to, okay, here we go. Initiation and the Court of Saint Germain, number 14. Look at that. That looks like Hierophant. You know, Saint Germain, the violet flame. This is all about forgiveness, healing and forgiveness, the violet flame, right? So it's like a judgment, right? Judgment represents Pluto anyway. So we answer in the call, you know, our soul is coming alive to do the healing and clearing the violet flame, the neutralization of the energy, you know, and this is like, you know, it literally reminds me of the judgment card, you know, like when the angel is doing the clarion call and the people are coming out from the, you know, caskets, and it's like, yes, we are here, we are awake, we are aware to do the work, you know, the violet flame, the healing and clearing, number 14, which is the temperance card. This is the temperance card in a tarot, which is about healing. It's about, you know, one foot on land, one foot in the water. It's like, yes, you are a human, but you are also a divine being, and you came here to human experience, to have a human experience, but at the same time, we came here to help to heal, you know, to heal ourselves and to help to heal others and to co-create a different reality that is not based on this unprocessed trauma that is stuck in time. And at the bottom, we have the bird's nest, 3 of Forces. This is 3 of Swords, reversed. So that was like that. So let's see, because the 3 of Swords is the broken heart, you know, which is what closed us off. You know, all this trauma and all these broken hearts and stuff, we created higher and higher and higher and higher walls, which of course in the past incarnations that was necessary to survive. We couldn't just be like, you know, crying all day. There was a work to be done. And this is also not the case that's going to be in Aquarian age. We're not going to be crying all day. But right here, right now, especially with the North Node moving into Pisces in January, this is the time when we need to process all these emotions, right? So that's why, you know, for many people, things are coming up that are strictly, deeply connected to the past. Maybe whether relationships, childhood, you know, whatever, you know, things are coming up and they're reopening the wound, because just like they say, and this is very often being spoken in Ali Harris channelings from Z, The heart is broken open. It breaks open. It doesn't break to divide itself. It breaks open, which is again taking us back to that Rumi quote, that the wound is where the light enters you. So isn't that interesting? The wound is where the light enters you. So the healing can take place. But anyway, let's see what Sandra and Taylor, said about these things. So let's start with the Saint Germain, aka the Temperance card. And judgment. Temperance and judgment to me. Upright. Standing among the pillars within a beautiful temple, the ascended master Count Saint Germain sends his light and energy to the four-robed people who stand before him. 4 is the number of Saturn, the structure of reality. It is time for their initiation. This card represents your initiation. It is much more than a change or even a transformation, is nothing less than your movement into higher revelations of power, insight, and achievement. And the time is now. Some loss of lower vibration relationships, job, or activities might be required in order to lift you to a new height and power that awaits you. This is the grief that we are going through, because not everybody is meant to go where you are going. Your initiation can be aided by meditation and study, as well as by connecting to the ascended masters with whom you have worked for centuries upon centuries. Know that you have shared purposes and activities with the masters, even if you aren't certain of what they are yet. The disciplines you create now during your initiation and the work you do with the masters will lift your service to the world and to all humankind. This is a time of enormous uplifting, first in your energy and evolution, then in your manifest outer reality. The power that you hold within will impact every part of your life. This is a huge energy, guys. Yeah, this is the Pluto in Aquarius with nodes moving into Pisces, Virgo. This is it. Akashic force. Okay, that's just activations. Let's just leave that for whoever, because I don't want to influence people what this looks like to them. You just guide it to your intuition, what this means to you. How does this look in your life? Tune in your own way that you've been called to. Okay, let's go to this Three of Swords reversed. The broken heart is serving its purpose. So I think it's also a matter, because it is the thoughts, the swords. So I think it's the time for us to, or is it Three of Swords or is it Three of Wands? Oh, actually it might be Three of Wands. Let's see. I think actually it might be Three of Wands, not Three of Swords. Anyway, there is a reason why I mentioned Three of Swords. Okay, King of Forces. Yes, I think it's Wands. I think I got confused because it's blue. It's blue, so it must be thought, Anyway, let's see. Okay, Three of Forces, the bird's nest, reversed. The bird's nest reversed indicates some sort of separation, reduction, and reorganization. There may be a distance between, again, the same thing, between you and family members. A business endeavor might need to be downsized or brought to an end, or friends might be far away. But take heart. An empty nest is always a sign of happy flight. This card reversal is telling you to let go of the old, rein in your plans, and take a new direction. Yeah, so it's Three of Wands. There may even be a physical move at hand, either for your home, your business, or both. Be conscious of your options and be courageous in your choices. Though some part of this experience might feel like a loss at first, this time of reduction and relocation can actually lead to great personal freedom and professional transformation. So yeah, change is ahead, change of potentially location for some people, but change of your inner and outer world. Your inner and outer world is changing. So yeah, the nest is clearing up so new things can come into it. And look, there is a butterfly. Butterfly, metamorphosis. So okay, so yeah, Three of Wands. Three of Wands and the Temperance with the element of judgment. Okay, now we're going to move to, which one of these two do I want first? Let's move to Work Your Light, and then we end up with the Shaman. Work Your Light. So we're going to see, because this Saint Germain full of light, you know, about our initiation. So now how are you gonna work your light? This is Rebecca Campbell. Let's see. And this is by the artist Danielle Noel, which is one of my most favorite. She has beautiful, beautiful art. Okay. Work your light. How are we going to be working? Oh, okay. Okay, there are many, many cards that flow out. So just one card, Spirit, please. Okay, there we go. Warrior woman. I mean, this is so funny because of the text I'm going to use next time. This is another confirmation. So, warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? I mean, again, this is initiation. Have you answered? And look at that. Here we go, the sword, one of sword, the clarity of thoughts, the contract. What contract did we come here to do? Warrior woman. Fascinating. And the... I mean, you can't make this up. At the bottom is priestess. Here you go, another high priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Exactly, this is about the balancing of the divine feminine and masculine. You know, it's not about lacking anything. It's about embodying it all in a perfect balance and harmony and coming into union, not just with one, but like with anybody, you know, people that are meant for you, your tribe, your soul tribe. From that balanced place, the place of neutrality. This is the unconditional love, the place of neutrality, the place of harmony, peace, balance, where there is no more projection, no more, you know, imbalance, no more crisis, no more drama. So yeah, here we go. Warrior woman and the priestess. And we all of it, you know, we have all these aspects of humanity available to us. So let's see. Wow, this is insane. So we have the second priestess. I mean, come on. Okay, this is a complicated deck. I need to see where to find it. Okay, so the warrior woman is an inquiry card, and then the priestess is what? Priestess. Jesus, where is priestess? Okay. Priestess is also inquiry card. Okay, so we go to inquiry card. So yes, what are we? That's perfect, because I was inquiring, like, how do we work that light? You know. So anyway, so let's see what they have to say, because yeah, Danielle Noel has a lot of imagination, but I can't necessarily read all of her thoughts through the card. So warrior woman, yeah. So that's this one. It's kind of like Archangel Michael, right? Cutting the cords and clearing the past. Have you answered your deepest calling? You are here for a reason. You are being called to bravely pave the path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling? Living a heart and soul-led life is not all fluffy and smooth sailing. Living a heart and soul-led life requires courage to triumph over fear. This is the strength card here that we culminate in. So often our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts, and the more resistance we have towards answering the call, the more important it is to our soul's growth. Sometimes fear is an indication that we are facing the right way. Jeanne d'Arc was known for her courage and her famous line, "I am not afraid, I was born to do this." But the thing about courage is that it is not possible without fear. So if you are feeling afraid, what is needed is courage, and courage comes from living from the heart. Think of your fears as opportunities to expand rather than things that are holding you hostage. If you look at the fears in this light, then as uncomfortable as it might feel, it's actually a sign that you are on the right track. Rock your light inquiry. Have you answered your deepest calling? So yeah, we are all here for a reason, and we are discovering what it is. But you can only find the answer within. You know, nobody's gonna tell you. I mean, they might, but it's not necessarily the truth for you. Okay, and now the other one, priestess. Let's see. Okay, priestess. So there's this lady. Also, that's like an initiation. So this is so funny, because this literally is like a divine masculine and divine feminine, but embodied in a female body. You know, this is the divine feminine, like the receptive, you know, the high priestess, and this is like the divine masculine embodiment in a female body. You know, this is the balance. Like we are all of it. You know, the courage and the bravery and the action. You know, these are the characteristics of the divine masculine. You know, but they have to be present in a woman too. Otherwise, what, we just sit on the couch all day. You know, so that's what I mean. You know, like the way we were being taught, it is not correct. You know, you're not one or the other. We are all of it. And this is what creates the wholeness, right? Nothing's missing. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? The priestess is a teacher dedicated to service, freedom, and leadership. You don't need to have it all together to lead. In fact, it helps if you don't. No one wants a perfect angel who hasn't made any mistake. Let your life be your message. Don't underestimate the power of sharing your story. It's by hearing somebody else's journey that feels less alone. We realize that we are actually all in this thing called life together. The difference between a follower and a leader is that the leader has the courage to go first. Here is the courage again. There we go. Don't be afraid to be the first one, even if it's a mistake. Doesn't matter. Let's do it. In stepping out, they shine a light on the path for others to venture forward too. Don't fret too much about trying to work out who is your tribe. Don't get stuck in age, income, hobbies, or occupation. The best way to discover your tribe is to look in the mirror. If you feel called to lead, chances are it is because at some point in your life you longed for someone to lead you. Your tribe are longing for exactly the same thing as you were and are and might only be one step behind you. Hell, they might even be right alongside you. You don't need anyone's permission, just the courage to stand up. Embrace your struggles, the peaks, the thoughts. You don't need to know the way. Just believe that there might be a different one. Your tribe is waiting for you. Step forward so they can find you. Work your light inquiry. How are you being called to step up and lead? How can you be the leader you wish you had? And this is not necessarily about leading the world, you know, even though some people play that role, you know, but this is, you know, just like living your life the way you want to live it, you know, having the courage to take the responsibility to lead the way in your own life, you know, just do what is calling to you, you know. And I feel this is so much, you know, this is so much with this Pluto on the last minute of Capricorn, because again, we were being conditioned to always look up to someone else. Who is the expert? Who is this? Who is that? And in how many times, how many cases we suppressed our own intuition because we were convinced, well, that person is qualified, they know better, you know. And if you are a mother, I'm not, but if you are a mother, you know mother's intuition. Maybe the doctor told you, oh, it's fine. And then you like, no, it's not fine. I feel my kid is not okay. And you were right. Yes. So this is like lead, you know, lead by example, follow your own lead, you know, wherever that takes you. And like I said, you know, like, let's not be afraid of making mistakes, because no, we're not going to get it right every time, every single time, first time we do anything, you know, but we learn from it. That's the Virgo, you know, the learning and adjusting, trial and error. Nobody learned to walk the first time they were born, you know. So it's like that. It's literally that, you know, and the only path to self-mastery is through that process. So this is like we are all initiated into this. Like, let's just release the wounds of the past. This is the sextile Chiron Mercury that is preventing us from being courageous and stepping into this new direction that's going to lead us into completely unknown reality. But we are co-creating it, and isn't that powerful? Like, you don't know where you're going, but you know that you have an influence, that you actually are in charge of creating that. I mean, that's the ultimate freedom, right? I mean, at least I think so. Don't have to agree with me. Okay. And the last deck I'm going to use, I'm still going to pull from Major Arcana, but the last deck that I want to use, and I just changed this 3 times, is the Shaman's Dream. We're going to use the Mystical Shaman on Tuesday. So, Shaman's Dream. So, have a vision. Let's have a vision together. What are we dreaming into reality? Shaman's Dream. What is the vision for the Pluto in Aquarius? Okay, Spirit. What's the guidance? Pluto in Aquarius. The higher vision for humanity. Spirit of the river. Movement towards adventure. Yes, we are embarking on an adventure for sure. And this is like a dancer underwater. Look at that, it's like a fairy, and this is the thing, our higher self, our soul is like exciting, it's excited. It's like we are freaking out over here in this physical body because we look around our souls and say, oh my god, this reality is so dense, all I feel is this pain from the past, this unhealed trauma. Look at the state of the world, look at the politics, look at the crisis, financial crisis, all this crisis, the world is going to down the drain. And the spirit is like this. We are embarking on a new adventure because how much worse it can get? Of course we all gonna go, it's enough, I'm not doing this anymore, I need to do something about myself. I don't want to keep feeling this way anymore. It's not like your feelings are wrong, of course they're not, but I don't want to keep attracting this same situation anymore. Who is the constant? It's me. Okay, there is something I need to do with myself, about myself, my healing, I'm responsible, right? So the soul is like, yes, things are heating up over there on planet Earth because they all going to have to change. They're all going to embark on this new adventure into this completely new reality that we are co-creating together, vision into life. And the spirit is excited. It's like, yes, that's what we were born for. Evolution, change, The ego mind wants to stay in the past because it's comfortable, because it's familiar. The higher mind, the soul, the soul just wants to grow and evolve, The soul wants to, sorry, it's my earplugs because I need to disconnect from the Mexican environment to be able to do my things. So anyway, so yes, this is our spirit, this is our soul. It's exciting. It's number 5, 5, which is the change. So the soul is like, yes, change is coming, let's get excited. And then at the bottom we have 44, number 8, 2 4s, double structure, number 8, abundance and prosperity, perfect storm, the courage, number 8, the courage, the year of number 8, the year of strength. Yes, we are cultivating the strength to have the courage. Yes, the perfect storm, the courage to step into life. Yes, that's it. The soul is excited because it's coming alive. It's like, let's be alive. Let's stop being apathetic and just be on a hamster wheel, just keep going. But let's just actually stop and observe and say, no, this is not working for me anymore. I want something different and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna create it myself, and then I'm gonna find other people who want the same thing and we're gonna co-create something even greater together. But yeah, somebody has to be the one to start, the leader, right? Okay, so we start from this one. Spirit of the river, movement toward adventure, addiction to problems, allowing and trusting the current. The spirit of the river invites you to step into the flow, to stop swimming against or avoiding the current. Allow the waters to carry you downstream, away from the eddies and whirlpools. It's time to heed the call of the new adventure waiting for you. Stop working on the problem for a while. The issue is not what it seems. It is your addiction to fixing what has gone bad that is consuming so much of your time. Work to create a greater good. The bad will resolve itself on its own. There is nothing that you can accomplish with more efforting, as the situation in your life right now are subject to forces beyond your control. Recognize this, step back and trust the flow. There is no loss of faith or lack of honor and integrity. It is simply the way things are at this moment. When this card appears, it is time to say yes to the next leg of your journey. Your life is like a river, inevitably and inexorably flowing to the sea, which is your divine destination. Be fearless and release yourself from the rushing water in the middle of the stream. Whatever it is you are holding on to, the feelings, the thoughts, the beliefs about how things are or how they should or could be, can be fixed easily with the power of the spirit of the river. Simply let go and enjoy the thrill of the ride. All will be well. So what I got from that message, that, we're trying to fix, for example, the best example is, okay, so just the everyday mundane reality, everything is getting more expensive. So how are we going to fix it? Okay, I need to work more hours. I need to work overtime, or I need to I don't know, buy cheaper things, cheaper food, you know, sacrifice and stuff like that. Whereas actually this is not resolving the situation, because we know things are just gonna get more expensive again, and then what? We're gonna eat even less, we're gonna work even more, right? So this is what I feel the spirit is trying to say. You know, we're trying to fix the problem from the place the problem was created. So we need to step away, look at things from the higher perspective, you know, like this guy over here, shaman with the owl, look at things from the higher perspective and say, okay, you know, what is actually creating this problem? You know, is there a different way? You know, there's different way that I can experience this reality where this problem wouldn't even exist, you know, and this is where the quantum field comes into place. You know, like, what do I want to attract into my life? I want to have a job. If you want to have a job, I don't, that you know, is allowing me to be authentic, that is allowing me to be paid fair in accordance with what I'm putting out there. And then I don't have to worry about how much anything costs, because I'm getting paid fairly, and you know, I'm going to pay fairly for the things I'm buying. So it's all this like all around win situation, right? And this is where we're trying to get to, but we're not gonna get there from the same place where the problem was created. So, you know, so this is what I feel like, you know, we are flowing with life, and there are certain things that we cannot resolve, you know, like, yes, you know, like I cannot go there and stop the war in Israel or something personally, you know. So it's like, okay, so what caused this problem? What caused this place of division? And it's people that feel separate, that feel that they don't belong, or feel that they need to have a control around, you know, what do you call it? Over the rest of the world to feel safe and secure. And where did that come from? Because they didn't feel that way when they were kids. Okay, not everything is acceptable, of course, but like, what is the core of the issue? You know, is the core, like, are we going to resolve the issue but by working ourselves to death just to survive? No, this is not going to sort out the problem. So this is what I mean, you know, and I don't have all the answers and I don't have all the solutions, but this requires a completely different approach to reality, because we've been just chasing our tail and running in the circles. So this is where I feel like, yes, these things from the past has to be neutralized and released, because we need to find different ways. We need to find different ways. The old ways don't work. That's it. Yeah, but I still feel that what I said is accurate. You know, the soul is excited because it's like, yeah, we are having to have to break out from the potentially apathy, boredom, or just this complete disillusionment and demotivation to be alive. So yeah, we're gonna have to create something. Yeah, that's the whole point. We have to create something different. And then let's see this perfect storm that's going to guide us there. Number 44. Master number frequency, and the number 8. Again, the strength is coming through. Perfect storm, an invitation to act now, the courage to step into life, sheltering from turbulence. When the perfect storm appears, it cautions you to be ready for an exciting but turbulent time. The winds are picking up, and you need to make sure that you are close to the eye of the storm, or you will be buffeted by gusts that might take you far from where you need to be. The key is to remain centered and balanced and bear witness as the forces build in intensity. Notice how the loose stuff is starting to fly around, and recognize how little of it you truly need. Let go of those thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that clutter your heart and cloud your mind. Then the storm will be absolutely perfect for you. If you wonder what you might lose during the perfect storm, know that it is those things that are that we are most attached to that are taken first. And if life were trying to unburden us of our righteous self-importance, let it all go with the wind. The less you resist the change brought by the perfect storm, the happier you will be. Ride the winds to your next destination. Embrace the rain or snow. Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. The perfect storm can also be called for you to seize the moment. There might be a great opportunity that you need to take advantage of right now. Carpe diem. Here, time is of essence. It may be gone shortly, so do not hesitate. Go ahead, bite off more than you can chew, and take the storm on in all its terrifying greatness. Experiencing the fullness of life, you will succeed. This is again about the courage of stepping into unknown, and just like, you know, take it, go down with the river, take it, go with the wind. This is the emotions, you know, not staying attached to our emotions, allow them to go through and then be released. And also the things, you know, our thoughts, our possessions. And I know for a fact, a lot of people I speak to have been getting rid of their things. And I know for me, my main lesson is to get rid of these thoughts and all belief systems and, you know, all the stuff that is connected to past way of being. So anyway, so that's pretty self-explanatory, but we know worldwide, you know, on the center stage, there will be things, there will be perfect storms, because it's not, this transition is not going to be just easy. I mean, it doesn't have to be hard. I don't think, because everybody's going to be experiencing it differently, but we're not going to completely change the reality we are experiencing at the moment that still some benefit from, like without these people fighting back, right? So there are going to be situations and circumstances, especially in the upcoming year, which might not be comfortable, but this is where, you know, we learning to neutralize, like come back to our center, come back to our balance point, to the 0 point, where from which we create different solutions to the situation. But for that, this foundation has to be built, the reconnection to oneself. Okay, long video. So final message from Major Arcana and we close. Okay, Major Arcana message for the week ahead. There's too many cards, but the death is winking at us. Death and rebirth for sure. Scorpio season is culminating. We are just about to move into the adventurous Sagittarius season of creating a foundation for a new story. Okay, we have 2 cards. The Hanged Man, you know, it's gonna take some time, and it's allowing us to reconnect with our spiritual essence, look at things differently. They are not what they seem. The Wheel of Fortune, we know for sure. We know for sure things are changing. The wheel is turning. And here we got it at the bottom, the Temperance. The Temperance. Yes, so we are entering into time of profound spiritual awakening, where we have the opportunity to see everything from a brand new eye and put things are upside down anyway, so put them the right way, you know, by reconnecting. There will be situations and circumstances, the change of wind, the perfect storm, whether that storm or not. This is also a card of Jupiter. It's a card of expansion, so we know things are changing, the wheel is turning to offer opportunity for growth and expansion and healing. There's a lot of healing here. Jupiter also is the traditional ruler of Pisces. So yeah, things are changing this week. The wind is changing, and it's going to take us closer to ourselves, to reconnection with who we really are, and that is going to help us to heal who we are not and leave these past, these old dense energies in a Piscean age, which is where they belong. Okay, guys, thank you everyone who is still watching. 1 hour and a half. I know, super long video. I probably should do this separately like I did last time. So I want to thank all my ancestors, higher self, spirit guides, angelic team, Akashic record keepers, everybody who was present, also our Starseed family, all the ascended masters that's been coming through, everybody that was part of this recording of the initiation, that is inviting us to be courageous to step into these new times and embrace them, because they are taking us exactly where we meant to go. So with that, I wish everybody a wonderful week ahead. I will be hopping on Tuesday with my practical application of astrology, where I will be talking more about this Pluto in Aquarius and pulling more cards. But for now, have a wonderful rest of the weekend, great week ahead, and I'll speak to you again soon. Much love everyone, and bye for now.